Welcome back, citizens of the internet and fans of HeroClix Gaming, to the ROC Texas State Championship, sponsored by TCGplayer.com and hosted by Space Cadets Gaming. This live stream and recording is brought to you by Nerd Thug Radio. I am Angry Zach, joined by my cohort and co-host
Cole Baldridge.
We are jumping in now to round 4, featuring Drew Warren and Luke Wynn. So tell us a little bit about the teams there.
All right, so when we left off, Drew beat defending feature match champ Joe Gutierrez, meaning he stays at the top table. So let's go over, for those of you just joining us, let's go over his team again. He has Jakeem Thunder with the Supreme Intelligence resource assigned to him. He also has Warlock with Proteus equipped. There's also Mr. Mythoplex and the Pin Pocket Tank with the Solaris as a Colossal Retaliator. So we went over this team before, so let's take a look at Mr. Luke Wins. He's running the Mini Shredder. He's running the Joker's Wild Haha Joker at 50 points. Also running Proteus at 35. He's running Ironheart from Avengers Defenders War and Peace Machine, with the Supreme Intelligence and Proteus both assigned to the Joker. Additionally, he's running the Pen Pocket Tank, the Boxing Ring, and 5 ID cards: the Superman ID, Spider-Man ID, Doctor Strange ID, the Shield 7 ID, and the Green Arrow ID. And so, looking at his sideboard for the ID characters, he has the Boxing Superman, he has the Civil War OP LE Spider-Man, he has the Elseworlds Chase Green Arrow, What If Cosmic Spider-Man, Peggy Carter Prime, Shifting Focus Doctor Strange, and another Elseworlds Superman, and the Doctor Strange Earth's Guardian Planeswalker Clicks.
Lots of Superman Boy Scouts. We're seeing the boxing ring here again, which makes zero sense. Superman fighting Muhammad Ali, which, whatever, that's fine. But one of my favorites is back on the board, and that's Mini Shredder. Mini as in multiple Shredder, as in tiny Shredder, as in from Manny, Louisiana Shredder. Really excited about seeing this guy on the board again, being played by Luke Wynn.
As in many more problems for Drew Warren. Last round we saw that it takes a very lot of effort to take down this guy. And the Shredder, the Joker we saw in the last 2 rounds had 3 tokens on him. Luke kicks it up another notch by having 5 tokens.
Wow.
So this guy essentially
5 is significantly more than 3.
He essentially has 30 clicks of damage that has to be dealt before he's killed, and that's not taking any healing into account.
And that's which character?
That is the Joker's Wild Ha Joker.
That's incredible. Ha Joker is quite a force to be reckoned with.
Now this guy is, we talked earlier of how he's more of a tie-up piece, but Luke seems to be taking a little bit more offensive. So equipped to him is Proteus. We saw him and play with the Warlock. Now, this is Luke's strategy is probably not going to be trying to pop out Proteus this turn. It's just going to give the Joker +1 to combat value. So he will have an 11 attack and a 2 damage for the entirety of the game.
So we're turning Joker, the ha Joker here, into not only a tie-up piece, but also something that maybe could be used on an offensive.
A little. Luke's is opting to run something of a little more. He's a little more of a grindy piece. He's running a new piece called Peace Machine.
I'll start begging for it.
Well, let's go over this one because this is something I'm really excited about. So, Peace Machine is 50 points. He has 7 movement with Sidestep, 10 attack with Telekinesis, 19 defense with Toughness, and 0 damage with Outwit. He is 4 clicks deep, and he has 2 traits. He has the Fine-Tune Repulsors. It says, Peace Machine can use Force Blast. When he does, he may target an opposing character within 3 squares in line of fire. He also has Suppression Field, which says, if a character will be dealt take 4 or more damage, it takes 3 instead. So what this means is, all the heavy-hitting Nick Fury IDs, all the huge Jakeem damage, that's all going to be capped at 3 damage. Meanwhile, Luke can chip away at his opponent and just deal gradual damage over time. Now,
so effectively, this Peace Machine hippie makes everyone weaker.
In a way, it does, and it can lead to some more interesting strategies. So let's take a look at what is going on right now. Okay, so Luke has opted to keep Peace Machine at the back of the map with his Pim Pocket Tank. So we probably shouldn't expect to see it in play very often.
Peace Machine's ability to suppress attacks is in effect no matter where he's on the board, correct?
Yes, that would be the case. Now, where is Luke's Joker? Okay, so we see Luke's Joker is on Drew's side of the map with Mini Shredder.
I see.
Let's see, and with it has Ironheart as well. So while they're taking setups, let's go over Ironheart real quick. Ironheart is a chase figure from Avengers Defenders War. She has 6 clicks of health. She's 25 points, and all you need to know is she has Outwit, Probability Control, and Perplex all throughout her dial. She has a trait that says that she begins the game with a broken armor token, and when she's dealt damage, instead, you roll a d6 that can't be re-rolled. If the result is equal to or less than the number of broken armor tokens, she's KO'd. If not, turn her to that click number and give her another broken armor token. This can't be ignored. So what this essentially means is that it can be kind of volatile. She can go down. Let's see. She can be killed on the first hit, or she can be killed. She can take 6 hits to die. It's just a little. It's kind of an element of randomness, but she can be a resilient piece. So looking at Luke's strategy, he may just opt for a more grindy match.
For some of you who are watching at home, if you've not yet looked up the Supreme Intelligence character piece, you should. It's incredible. It looks like a floating head inside of a jar of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles mutagen. It's an enormous piece. It's 2 feet wide by almost 15 inches in diameter. That's why they're on the side of the board. Most players have to keep theirs on the floor. It's an incredible piece. Supreme Intelligence, it'd really be nice to see them on the board playing, but obviously their strength isn't in taking up a bunch of squares on the board.
Oh, looks like there's a judge being called in the other room. Well, what we've seen the Supreme Intelligence used in most matches is to be used as a power farm on characters like Jakeem Thunder, because on the second click he has the Supreme Intelligence has stealth and willpower, which the assigned character, the resource, can use. So a popular strategy is to have just the character utilize the powers that are presented on the Supreme Intelligence dial. Now, at the end of each turn, a character assigned to the Supreme Intelligence can click the dial forward 1, and if the game goes along long enough and the dial is turned all the way down to its last click, the character can be given an action to replace that character with a full Supreme Intelligence at 900 points. So that can be a win condition that characters can use to quickly close out the game. So we'll just see what happens. All right. So
what's going on the board here now? So we've got little mini tiny Shredder with Joker and somebody else on Drew's side of the board.
Yeah. So
along with Proteus and Jakeem and another Pim tank.
It looks like Drew's Mr. Mitzelplick. Drew's Mitzelplick is based up against the Mini Shredder, which means the Shredder won't be able to deal damage to it this turn, unless he decides to take a move action and move away to try to move, then sidestep back and start dealing damage to Mitzelplex. Looks like.
Oh, we've also got the one-armed Green Arrow.
Oh, Green Arrow is.
I like to see that guy
out.
Pulling an arrow with his mouth. Makes tons of sense.
So Luke is going to use Green Arrow, is going to use Range Combat Expert, putting it all into attack, so he's doing a 15 attack against Jakeem Thunder's 18 defense. Now remember, if he... Oh, he hits Proteus.
Proteus is now off the board.
So that's... So remember, hit character... Now remember, Proteus only takes damage from close combat, from close attacks. However, the Green Arrow says that when a character is hit, they cannot use defense power. So before the damage is dealt, the defense power would have been shut off, and then Proteus then takes the damage and dies. quite a clever move on Luke's part.
So we've got 35 for Luke for taking Proteus off the board,
Yes.
as well as 5 points for Drew for Luke bringing out the green arrow that looks like Alan Moore.
Yes, that is in the case. Alan Moore's green arrow definitely did its work.
Which I think is a little bit of vanity on Alan Moore's part because, again, I can't stress enough, this one-armed green arrow looks a lot like Alan Moore with the weird beard and the long, creepy hair. Only thing that he's got that Alan Moore doesn't is a missing arm.
You think Alan Moore would ever be clixed?
I don't know.
I don't know.
If they can bring in a one-armed archer, then yeah, I think pretty much all bets are off in HeroClix.
All right, so looks like Drew is going to be maneuvering around Jakeem, and he's going to be making an offensive play.
We got Mini Shredder there right in the thick of it. I like to see that.
All right, he's considering his options. All right, all right. So Jakeem is sidestepping. Judge is certainly doing a fair amount of work today.
Yep, our friend Austin Goobler.
Also of Team Ragnarok. All right, so Jakeem is making an attack. And all right, it misses. All right, Jakeem is using probability control, I think. All right, and that is a miss. Luke has a lot of high defense characters. There's just a lot of 18s and 19s on the field. It'll be interesting to see how Drew plans to work around that.
Yeah, so much of...
Oh, the Solaris has been taken off the board as well already.
Looks like we missed that one. That's a strong move by Luke as well.
He seems to... I guess he took that out while we were going over the teams.
How much does that hurt Drew to lose Solaris so early on in the game?
I'm not sure. It depends. He could be using the action tokens to slow down the team, though dealing pushing damage. Oh, rolling for the Proteus trait. It does not deal Joker damage. I mean, the Joker could. The value of it, he's going to be losing outwit, but he can't counter the free damage from sidestep. Oh. All right, looks like he's going to be damaging the Joker to get him onto a different click. So the most important tool he's going to be losing, I think, is outwit.
On the Solaris.
Because he can't outwit Ironheart's supporting powers. He won't be the outwit also can't take out the defense or the sidestep damage from Mini Shredder. All right.
A lot of big attacks early on in this game. It seems like, too, with such strong defensive capabilities on Luke's side, that
Luke is re-rolling attack with probability control. All right, Ironheart's using probability control to target attack. All right, and that will be... All right, and Mixie... All right, and Mixie uses his special die to replace the attack of Luke's Joker's attack, and resulting in a miss. Looks like a reroll for prob. All right, and that results in a miss.
it did look like Jakeem took a click of damage there, though. Was that because he opted to... I'm not really sure what happened on that one.
Well, let's take a look at the Joker real quick. It could be possible that the Joker did fall on a flurry click. So I guess we can infer that he is currently on either click 5 or click 10, or click 4 or click 10. All right, looks like Joker is going to try to sidestep break away. Could be for better positioning, and it could open him up for more damage.
Man, I like that Mini Shredder, I have to tell you. I'm looking over at it, and I just love the way it looks.
That Mini Shredder can do some work.
So is Mini Shredder currently... Did it deal damage to Jakeem since he was in proximity?
It depends. Unless Luke, he would have started the movement adjacent.
Oh, I see.
Oh no, Mini Shredder does have Empower, which means that adjacent friendly characters modify damage by +1 when making close combat attack. So it could be that Luke would have had a 3 damage from a +1 to damage from Proteus and +1 to damage from Empower.
Gotcha. Exciting
So
stuff.
he's considering what to do and where
Looks
to
like
move
Joker's
Joker.
positioning himself in between Mini Shredder and Jakeem, which is nice. I like to see people take one for Mini Shredder.
All right, Luke opts to pass the turn. All right, and Drew is ensuring that. All right, Drew's Jakeem takes Invincible and Poison. He's gonna roll the breakaway on sidestep. Oh, he opts the breakaway, still fails it, and delivers Poison. And Jakeem deals one poison damage to the Joker.
Joker, even though he has heightened sensibilities, can't detect poison. That seems very, very inaccurate to me.
Well,
Seems like if you had super senses, you'd be able to smell poison.
Alright, Joker's taking an attack, or deciding to take some damage. Oh, he opts to heal some damage, my bad.
Nice.
Alright, let's see what Luke decides to do on his turn.
You got the judge weighing in here really quickly.
He's on click 8. You might have to put him to talk.
Keyword. No. I start on click 7. I started on this start.
Okay. Because none of them have that.
If I go the other way,
I know.
Here, I'll go the other way to make it less confusing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's all I was trying to catch with it. I wasn't trying to catch you. No. I got you.
Little discussion with the judge here about the rules on Joker's clicks. Looking good though.
Alright. And so what do you think, what options do you think that Luke has right now?
Man, I have no idea. I know that from just the matches we've seen today, this Jakeem character needs to be taken out of the game early, or the damage is irreparable.
Now, what's interesting to me, and that what poses a daunting task for Luke, is that Luke's going to have Jakeem has 8 clicks of life, and that he's going to have to deal, just chip away at that as much as possible. But because of Peace Machine on the field, no character can deal more than 3 damage. Now, not a lot of characters, Luke can't really deal very much higher than that because all of his characters have low damage output. So that's going to break parity more with Drew than it does with Luke.
It's still going to take several attacks to get Jakeem down,
It will take several attacks.
even in a best case scenario.
Yes, Luke is opting for a strategy of attrition right now.
What's Drew's move here? Because Drew's already taken some pretty big hits, not points wise, I think, but
Drew has a couple. I think Drew has some options open. The Joker is going to be insanely hard to kill, and the Ironheart is a bit of a mixed bag because you can never tell if she's going to die on 1 hit or she's going to die on 5. So what he could do is he could opt to kill the Mini Shredder, and he could try to use Mixie to use Pulse Wave and try to lock down all of his opponent's pieces in the area. Though if Mixie is not on his click 2, which is where the Pulse Wave power would be, he would have to try to push all the way onto click 2, which could take a few turns before he's ready.
seems, unlike the last few rounds we've seen, that ridiculous boxing ring in the middle here hasn't been used much by these players.
Not really. It's only 5 points, and so it seems to be that a lot of players are including it on their forces more as a bit of an insurance policy, that if it comes into play, then great, but if
They're not going to build their strategy around it.
Yeah, if they're already filled up on ID cards and they have all the other bells and whistles, then you can just throw it in. Alright, so Luke is making an attack. So Luke has called in another character, Carter.
This prob roll that keeps happening is actually a problematic roll for those of you at home. Problematic means a big problem has occurred and they want to make it worse by rolling the die again.
Alright, and so Joker is going to try to move to break away.
Oh, are we taking Little Shredder with us?
Oh, Shredder is coming along for the ride.
Excellent. Mini Shredder's great. His head's the same size as a full-size Shredder, but his body is that of a child.
Oh, looks like... Alright, so Luke is considering what positioning options there are for him.
Oh, Mini Shredder's now in the ring.
Yeah, that does offer some protection for... That would offer some protections for Shredder, and as when the Joker carries away Shredder, that means that Peggy Carter would be brought off the map, meaning that Drew couldn't retaliate and gain more points that way.
Poison and Nitrogen, poison on Ironheart.
Alright, so he's going to... Alright, Drew's going to poison Ironheart.
Again, this is a situation where I think poison makes no sense. I think one of the problems with HeroClix that I've always had is that there's not a lot of attacks that are thought of in terms of a narrative story. It doesn't make sense that poison would harm someone in armor. Are they going to stop in the middle of a fight and take a drink?
Well, in Ironheart's case, the poison will be seeping through with the broken armor, and as we can see, Ironheart does not have any of the damage reducers, so essentially that's just free damage on Ironheart, increasing the likelihood that she's going to die. So that's fewer actions that Jakeem is going to have to take trying to score more points.
It just doesn't make sense from a narrative point of view, is all I'm saying there, Colt.
The Redlander's poison is pretty neat, nasty.
That's fair.
Yeah, back in War of Light, that was penetrating damage. Alright. Alright, it looks like Jakeem, or looks like Mixie is... Looks like Mixie decided to use Pulse Wave and lock down Joker for the next turn.
Oh.
Alright, now Jakeem's going to go for the swing to Ironheart. He's going to use probability control. And that will be a hit. And we will see... See, this is the Ironheart at work right here.
So what do we see there?
Okay, so
Jakeem got a hit,
yes.
correct?
Jakeem got a hit, and so Luke rolled the d6, and he had to get a 4 or higher because he had 3 broken armor tokens right now. Luke just rolled a 6, meaning Ironheart is still in the fight, and they added another broken armor token. So each time that Ironheart takes damage, it's going to be harder and harder and harder for him to roll out of that and stay alive. Yeah, when she was initially announced, people thought that she could have people thought she was quite powerful and being resilient, and so far this is living up to that expectation.
Who is Ironheart? How have I never heard of this character?
Ironheart's Riri Williams. She's the young black teenager that is taking on the Iron Man mantle.
Now she's Ironheart. Why isn't she Iron Woman?
That's a good question.
Marvel's dropping the ball again.
That's why we're using DC and TMNT clicks on this too. All right. Luke's rolling for Proteus, and the Joker takes her damage off that roll. Now he decides to roll to click the dial or heal. Not sure.
Joker moving over.
Yep.
Our good friend Mini Shredder, which is the same size as Mr. Mixelpixelictolix,
Yeah.
which is neat.
There's not much the Joker can do this turn. It looks like Shredder already moved out and dealt damage to Mr. Metaplex. And Luke decided to move up Peace Machine a little bit. All right. Alright, he decides to use poison.
Again on the robot?
Yep, and that is it.
Oh, Ironheart is out of this round now.
Alright, still low points on both sides.
Yeah, we're not seeing this being a high-scoring match so far.
Yeah, I mean, on one side, most of the points are tied up in Jakeem Thunder, and the other side is tied up in a number of characters that are difficult to kill.
Yeah,
And the highest point character on Luke's team is surprisingly Mini Shredder.
That's funny. He's my favorite. There are many of him.
Looks like Jakeem is going after Mini Shredder, and that is an 8.
You hate.
Oh, looks like Jakeem took... now they're having a question about whether or not...
Mini Shredder is taking damage, but they're trying to decide whether or not he gets knocked back as well.
It looks like they rolled doubles.
He rolled doubles and then knocked back. Do I still take damage?
He gets knocked back. Still get knocked back. Okay. I didn't know if combat reflex is turned off.
Oh, he is knocking him back.
Yeah.
It's got to be getting close to the end for Mini Shredder, huh?
Well, Mini Shredder would take an additional damage because he knocks back in the blocking terrain.
So I think he took 3 clicks there.
I think he took 3 and then knocked back into to the blocking terrain.
So what's that
for
put him
4.
at?
Let's see what that would put him at. Mini Shredder would be... He could be on Quick 5 at this point.
Uh-oh.
I mean,
Bravo.
Well, he had combat reflexes, yeah. So I'm not sure what Quick he's on. Alright, so Mini Shredder is currently on click number 5. So he currently has Stealth, Smoke Cloud, and Combat Reflexes, and a 17 defense. Now it would probably be in Luke's best interest. He can either stay close to try to. It probably would not be in Luke's best interest to.
Now, with Peace Warrior limiting everybody's attack to 3.
Damage.
Damage to 3. How did he get 4 on this one?
Because he dealt 3 damage and he knocked back. And
So it's 2 separate damages instead of 1 for 4 total.
If you get knocked back off the edge of the map or on a wall or on the elevated terrain, you take 1 additional knockback.
Gotcha.
And so at this point, Jakeem could just poison out Mini Shredder if he stays close and doesn't
We
take.
lost Mr. Mixelpix.
Oh no!
I like that guy. He has a lot of consonants in his name. That's a
There
big
goes-
jump ahead for Luke.
Yeah, and there goes some disruption on his part.
Oh. I think that was another click of damage at least for Shredder.
There's a,
So Mini Shredder's either within 1 or 2 of his last click.
yeah, well, it could take a well-placed close combat expert or poison to do
We
it.
still got Peace Machine now in the boxing ring, which is kind of funny, right? Peace Machine, boxing ring.
It is ironic. I see where he's trying to go though, because if Peace Machine's in the boxing ring, then Jakeem's going to have to actually go in there and deal damage. Oh, and now Shredder has called in Superman.
Oh, hello.
5 points.
So
Another 4 points or 5 points in Warren's case.
So we've got the Boy Scout with the boxing gloves. That's always fun.
Now he has flurry. He does have flurry and sidestep, so he could deal up to 6 damage on
Sorry, is
Jakeem.
Jakeem the only player left for
That seems
Drew?
to be the case. All right, so it's an 11 on. All right, that was a miss on both parts. Now, what's interesting about Peace Machine is that even if Jakeem did outwit Superman's vulnerability, he wouldn't be able to one-shot him because all the damage is capped at 3. So that is an additional extra protection on Luke's part.
Seems like Peace Machine's a good character to have on the board, even if he does have an incredibly lame name.
It would be so. He's a very niche piece, and frankly, or honestly, I would want to try to experiment with him and try to find something out.
Is that how it is with all the What If universe characters? Are they all kind of like weirdly specific or specialized?
Not really. Most of the sets, some of them kind of are, but Peace Machine seems to be one of those more mechanically interesting characters who does something and just has a global effect. Kind of like Nighthawk Prime. If they're on the board, everybody's affected by it. Or it doesn't matter where they are. So that means Jakeem would have to go out of his way to go take out Peace Machine to start dealing more damage.
Looks like Boy Scout Boxing Glove took some hits of damage there, which I always like to see.
Indeed, it is.
Lots of action and activity in this fourth round.
At this point, Peace Machine is sitting on an object, and since he's in the boxing ring, if Jakeem would try to shoot him, he would have a +3 defense, meaning Peace Machine would have a net defense of 22. So
Jeez Louise.
in order to take him out, Jakeem would have to step into the ring and address that.
That's incredible. 22. Superman's
So at
now
this-
off the board.
At this point, Warren's optimal strategy would be try to take out either Mini Shredder and or Peace Machine. Mini Shredder should be the first target though, since he's the more points.
It's a huge, huge lead by Luke on this one.
It could be, but if he takes out, That's true.
No, Mini Shredder's Gonzo.
Any Shredder is gone?
No. Sorry, not from the game, just from that proximity to. Oh. Now he's back. What is happening? Now he's.
Oh, Mini Shredder is.
He's just bouncing
Shredder's
back and forth
hopping
here.
in the boxing room, so it looks like the fight's going to be taken to the ring after all. Now, as we've seen before, as we saw in the last round, just trying to go and take out the Joker is just going to be incredibly hard. So,
Is he almost not even worth considering unless you have to?
yeah, indeed.
It seems like it expends a lot of energy and resources to try to kill him, and it just takes so long, and it really doesn't get you anything.
Yes, it does. So let's see.
Right at 15 minutes left.
All right, so Joker is currently on a click with plasticity and poison. So he's either on click 3 or click 9 right now, and that plasticity is going to lock down Jakeem unless he chooses to get hypersonic speed, in which the breakaway rolls modifiers would cancel out. And even then, it's a toss-up of whether or not Jakeem would be able to break free of the Joker at that point.
It's a strange thing that Joker has plasticity. Again, the narrative strength of some of these Clicks characters is just not where I would like it to be.
Although we did joke about the Green Arrow being an Alan Moore character, but this Joker actually is from... which one is it?
Is it Dark Knight Returns?
No, not Dark Knight Returns. It's not Death. It can't be Death in the Family. It's the one where Joker shoots Barbara Gordon. I can't remember the title.
Killing Joke.
Yeah, it's a Killing Joke Joker.
Yeah. He is a loon in that one.
Indeed. And his dial is as crazy as the character is.
That's a well-written story, though, man. Holy goodness.
I need to get around to watching it, reading it sometime.
Yeah, I have heard good things about the movie as well. Although, according to Nico DLG from Nerd Thug Radio, there's a really awkward, weird part with Barbara Gordon where her voice doesn't seem to match her character at all. It's a very strange story. You should listen to him tell it sometime.
I'll have to find the backlog for that episode. All right, so Joker is damaged off that click, and now he's going to roll to see if Joker will heal. All right, so he's on click 4 right now, so he can either be on click 7 or click 2 for stealth and outwit or running shot and range combat expert.
A lot of the fourth round matchups are wrapping up here. Got about 13 minutes left. Drew's got one character left on the board. It is that Jakeem character.
And it's in Luke's best interest to keep that Jakeem out of the boxing ring. He's considering calling in another character.
It's going to cost him another, 5 points?
Yeah. Try to deal as much damage. Oh, he's going to burn an ID card. Calling it Spider-Man. Now, this Spider-Man... Wait. Now, this Spider-Man... Oh! And Jakeem is taking a hit.
Ruh-roh.
Uh-oh. All right, and what is that?
It's two.
That's another
2 damage on that.
All right, and it looks like it's going out. It's 6 to hit, and he gets a 7.
Ooh, another hit on Jakeem. Man,
hit.
Spider-Man's a big deal, huh?
Spider-Man did quite the...
Here's what I like about Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's the only character I know of whose name has man in it. Superman, Batman, Iron Man, who has a hyphen. Spider-Man. Spider-Man. I never have understood that.
Interesting.
It's a strange thing.
I don't know, maybe... It'd be an interesting question to ask Stan Lee. Yep.
Yeah.
Did you know Stan Lee actually has his own HeroClix?
Really?
Yeah.
Why? What can it do?
It's I don't know. It's kind of a little. It's a joke piece, or at least it came with this box set. It was like Stan Lee, Morgan Spurlock, and some movie critic, and Joss Whedon in a box set.
That's funny.
Yeah. Never got those. All right, so Luke is considering what to do, whether to heal or damage the Joker at this point. You go and see what click he's on, what Jakeem's on. All right, now click 6. I can't click 5.
I can't tell.
All right, so Jakeem is on click 4 right now, which means he still has a little bit of fight in him with 10 attack and 3 damage with probability control. He's not as potent as he was starting out, but it's still a force to be contended with.
Still about 4 more damage till he's KO'd. And with what is it, Peace Machine?
Yeah, with
Hippie
Peace
Machine,
Machine
keeping everything at 3. It's still at least 2 more hits before he's done.
Yeah, Luke must not feel comfortable sending out the mini shredder to do the extra damage, so he's keeping him hung back right now.
Right about 10 minutes left, so it's really getting into crunch time now, I think.
Yeah, Drew's gonna have to figure out what to do quickly before his time runs out. He chooses shape change and another power. Alright, rolling a 3. Alright, trying to regenerate. Now he's back on click number 2. So now Jakeem has 10 movement with sidestep, 10 attack, 18 with energy shield deflection, and 4 damage with probability control. So that extra movement attack can help him can give him extra chances to break away from the Joker.
Things are getting pretty heated. Only right around 9 minutes left.
Oh,
finally, Mini Shredder's
coming
out.
back out.
Yes! I love that tiny guy. Tiny Rick.
Tiny Shredder! Oh, Shredder came back out. And dealing presumably a damage, putting him on click 3.
A lot of deliberation, a lot of thought this late in the game, I think.
Indeed it is. Both players really don't want to make mistakes at this point. Let's see, if the 45-90 that could, taking out Mini Shredder would put Drew in the lead. At 135. Right. Shredder
Just barely.
Trying to move away. Now Drew's going to have to clear this next turn. Alright, so Jakeem's on click 3 right now. Luke's considering, Luke may be considering swinging at Jakeem Thunder right now. Alright, looks like Luke's going to take a swing at Jakeem, and that is an 11, dealing another 2 damage. Dealing another 2 damage, putting him on 2. Alright, putting him on click number 4. So, Luke's just back down to whittling away. Luke's back to whittling away Jakeem at the moment.
Getting close, only 7 minutes left.
Indeed. Joker is doing quite the tie-up piece right now.
Luke's using the Proteus piece here.
So, yeah, it is a trigger that happens at the beginning of the turn. And so Drew cleared last turn. He's going to go back to relative safety inside the boxing ring. Carrying keys. Yeah, Luke seems to have found his rhythm right now. Yeah, Luke seems to have found his rhythm in which he goes in, he pops Mini Shredder back out, does some damage,
Yep.
and then goes back to safety. He's not giving Drew any quarter right now. All right, looks like Jakim's gonna try to attack the Joker right now.
It's funny that one of the strongest players I think we've seen today, Jakim, or one of the strongest characters we've seen today, Jakim, is just, it becomes harrowing because over and over and over and over, he's just getting pounded and pounded, but still staying in the round.
Yeah, he's a tough piece to find out, especially when you can call out regeneration on command.
Yeah.
And you have regeneration, you have steel energy. All right. Luke's rolling for Proteus, so he doesn't take damage this round.
Jakim is on 6, so he's 2 away from a KO.
Oh no, it could be. Oh, he's in worse shape than we thought.
Yeah, which in theory,
So what he could
happen
do,
relatively soon here. 4 minutes, 5 minutes left.
what he could do, let's see. He could call in another. Luke could call in his last ID character, and that
there
seems
it
to be
is.
what he's doing right now.
Hey, there's Superman. Which Superman is that?
That's Dr. Strange. It's the Planeswalker Dr.
Oh,
Strange.
sorry, it's Dr. Strange.
Yeah, what he could do looks like
Man,
he's
I
going in
love
for an
Dr.
attack.
Strange.
Alright, so he's increasing damage by +1.
Oh, damage and perplexing up his attack.
Alright, so Luke is
Two
going in for the kill
problems.
here. All he needs to deal is 3 damage and just send in Mini Shredder to clean up the job.
Really 2 damage, right? Because he's already on 6.
Yeah, I mean, he needs to get him to click number 9 to do the kill. That seems to be it, to knock him onto the last click.
All right.
All he needs to do is bring Peace Machine in to Mini Shredder to work for the kill shot.
Oh, I would really like to see Mini Shredder put a kill shot in. That would make me really happy to see Mini Shredder just clean up.
Today you just might get your wish. Oh, and he decides to clear.
What's happening? What?
What just happened?
Why didn't Mini Shredder finish it off?
Invincible and Prob.
Well,
Oh, he might have picked
That's-
Invincible. Alright, so Luke's opting to use probability control on the regeneration roll, hoping that Drew rolls a lower result.
Oop.
And decides to just let it go. Clicking him back up to click
I think it
number
was
6, where we were the
rats.
turn before.
rats.
Luke is currently out of ID options. He's rolling for Proteus and takes damage from Joker.
What exactly happened with Superman just then?
Doctor Strange came in, knocked
Dr. Strange,
Jakim onto his last click, and Luke decided not to send in Shredder. That may be because he knows something that we don't.
It may have been an enormous oversight.
Could be. Currently, right now, Jakim is invincible in probability control, so the penetrating damage would not have worked. All right, so that's 6. All right,
I think he's back on 8.
Joker deals
On click 8, I think.
Well, Joker deal 2 damage. That will put him on to click 7. Meaning, oh, there we go. Shredder dealing damage. Oh, and that's the game.
My goodness, Mini Shredder took him out. Glad to hear it.
And at the score of 295 to 50, Luke Wynn beats Drew Warren.
I don't even know what's left to be said other than Mini Shredder finished it off. Makes me really happy.
I know, that was the move we were waiting for, and that is the move that Luke delivered.
Outstanding.
What a round. I have not seen something like that in quite a while.
All right, guys, we'll see you back in a bit for round 5. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you soon.
We'll be right back.